Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, you know I have to do it. I want everybody to enjoy this community, to come in and see how great it is because it's terrific. It is filled to the brim with terrific people. And so listen, if you want to be a part of it, you know what you need to do. Go down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, the beast. I'm telling you, I have it in a headlock, y'all. I keep on pressing on. I mean, I'm not going to let it go. Also, I just want to thank all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Y'all are doing a bang up job. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And over in the corner of your screen, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, just over the moon appreciative to have that support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look over in the other corner. That's our super thanks, and all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs, and I want to first shout out everyone that came into the comments and wished me a happy birthday. Yes, thank y'all so much. Thank you for just absolutely all of your well wishes. I had a terrific birthday. I did. I could not ask for a better birthday. It was so great. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for thinking of me, and just thank you for all your well wishes. And also, I wanted to clear up something. A lot of people think my birthday is October 23rd because I downloaded my podcast the next day, but actually my birthday is October 22nd. Yes, so I had a wonderful birthday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, let's get to these shout outs. And first up, I want to shout out Jibbing Me Way. And guess what, y'all? Today, the 23rd, which I am recording this podcast on, but I will be downloading it the next day. So Jimmy Me Way's birthday is October 23rd. So I just want to wish her a happy birthday. I hope she had the best birthday ever. I hope she enjoyed herself. I hope she kicked her heels up. I hope she did whatever made her happy. So happy birthday, Jibbing Me Way. And thank you so much for your continued support of this channel, this community. It means everything. Also, I want to give a shout out to Angela May. Angela is everything. She is a ride or die. She is always coming through, always supporting, always in the comments. She is just such a huge part of this community, and I am so blessed to have her. So thank you, Angela. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Jennifer Clark came through. She did. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you just for your continued support. It means so much. Jennifer has been with me just about since the beginning, and she has never wavered in her support of the read, and I am so blessed to have her. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Jane Press came through again. I'm telling you, Jane is just everything. And when I say she's everything, she is everything. She has been with me since the beginning, and she never, ever wavers in her support. She is just everything. She is. So thank you, Jane. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Thank you. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to Jibby Me Way. Happy birthday, Jibby Me Way. And Angela May and Jennifer Clark and Jane Press. Thank you, thank you, thank y'all. Thank you for just being such huge supporter of the read. It means everything. Also, I want to give another happy birthday to Jacqueline Rippey. It's Jacqueline Rippey's birthday as well. Well, I think her birthday was on the 22nd with me. So happy birthday, Jacqueline. I hope you had the best birthday ever. I do. I'm telling you, it is a lot of us. So I am so happy that everybody is letting me know when their birthday is because I love birthdays. I do. And I love shouting out birthdays. So yes, happy birthday, Jacqueline. All right, y'all. With all that said, let's get started. Y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. Y'all know I hit these internet streets. And let me tell you, that's where I have been. Because it has been pretty interesting on these internet streets here of late. And I really think that we have a lot to talk about. Now, I'm going to try not to hold y'all long, but we got some interesting stuff we need to chit-chat about. First, Meghan dropped a little hint about something that might be coming up, and the squatties are trying to guess what it might be. Still stuff going on with Andrew. People in Parliament are still talking, being performative, but we all know that's not going anywhere. And I also have a little update about Pippa and her family. I'll just put it that way. When we get to it, we'll talk about it. So let's get started. And like I said, I try not to keep y'all long, but I will try to keep y'all entertained. Yes. All right. So I'm going to put this up. And this was posted on Meghan's Instagram. She has an Instagram story, and it is a little puzzling. It is a little mysterious. And this particular squatty posted about it and said, okay, our princess Meghan said, save the date, Thursday to the 28th of October. We will be eating well again. Y'all, what y'all think it's going to happen? I think it's going to be a new product drop. That's what I think. And I have been forever waiting for strawberry jam. Now, I have forever been waiting for the raspberry jam to come back. So, let's see what it is. But I'm telling you, it has the squatties a Twitter. It does. Everybody is starting to get excited. It's building because Meghan, go over to her Instagram. You'll see it. Meghan is out looking at the trees and wandering around and told us to save the date October 28th. I know one thing. I am going to be sitting already. I am. Because this is what I love. This is what I love. I don't like getting down in the mud with the pigs. I love stuff like this. I love to see what our faves are doing. I love to participate in what they are doing. Yeah, stuff like this. I do. But you know, when you in this fandom, when you're a part of the Sussex squad, you have to be able to do both of them at the same time. You have to be able to put a ugly old hag in a headlock and bat down a flying monkey and, pay attention to what your fave is doing. So I guess we'll have to continue on, but I really love this. I cannot wait for the 28th, y'all. I'm going to be sitting on ready. And this particular squatty is sounding like me. They say, oh, the anticipation. October is still keeping us beyond happy. House of Sussex is predicting olive oil of some kind, and I think it's highly possible given the trees. Anyone else has a guess? And Meghan looks ethereal in this. She does. I mean, she looks so, I don't know. I guess the word is ethereal. She does. She looks like she is at peace and very, very unbothered by everything that's going on. And can you blame her? I don't blame her not one bit. Who would want to be over there in that cesspool? I'm just saying. And one squatty posted this. It's a repost, and the original post said, "You see how Meghan is minding her business?" Yes, yes, I do see that. Meghan is the queen of minding her own business. Her and Beyonce are neck and neck in that race. Beyonce minds her business. She absolutely values her peace above it all. She has pretty much perfected the art of minding her own business, and Meghan has too. So yeah, I agree with this. And it says working for her coins and just being a ray of sunshine. We love to see it. New as ever product drop next week. Oh, I'm excited, y'all. I'm getting pumped. I am. And this squatty that reposted it said, "Oh my God, what is coming? What is coming?" I don't know, y'all, but I'm excited. And I'm gonna put this up, and this particular squatty made such a cute post because it's a meme of this woman working out, getting herself in shape, and this squatty said this: "Me getting ready to order my as ever raspberry preserves on Tuesday." Yeah, she's doing her stretches. She is absolutely getting ready. She is getting in shape so she can throw them hands so she can get her raspberry preserves. Yes, I want some too, y'all. I might need to get on the floor and do a few stretches myself because I am going to be all up in there. Yes, on that website, I am going to be in there because I have yet to score a preserve that I want. Now I got the cookie mix and I got the flour sprinkles, but I have never got a jar of preserves. Now I could have got the apricot, but I am not a fan of apricot. I want either the raspberry or hopefully she'll come out with some strawberry. That would be really, really good. But the squatty came up under this post and said, "Oh, I hope it's a big drop of something." Yes, it's going to be something. Because Meghan is not going to come out and just say, "Yeah, I'll say this date." She's not going to say that and come out with a little bit. There's no telling what Meghan coming out with. And it might be home goods, y'all. It might just be some home goods. We got to see, but I'm getting excited. I am. And look at this. Doesn't Meghan look beautiful? She just looks so beautiful. This is a screenshot of a segment of the video that she has posted over on her Instagram page. And y'all go over there, show her some love, give her a like, and watch the video. It is so cute, and it's just everything because Meghan is at peace while they're at war. Meghan and Harry, they are at peace, and I just love that. But yes, doesn't this look very angelic? The person who shot this video did a great job. He did, or she, I don't know who did it, but they did a great job. Meghan looks absolutely beautiful. And the squatty that posted this said, "Meghan, pure elegance." And I agree. And also, I want to put this up. Meghan participated in an event at Godmother's bookstore tonight. And I know we're going to get to see a lot of what went on because they streamed it. They did. Now, it was sold out, but they did stream it. And y'all know people are going to post and post and post. So I cannot wait to see who was all there, what went on, what Meghan wore, just on and on and on. So yeah, the minute I find out, y'all find out too, because I am going to have my ear to the ground on this one. And the squatty that posted this said, "Meghan is set to attend a Godmother's bookstore event where she'll co-host with author Courtney Adamo, I think that's the way you pronounce her last name, for a discussion on creating a home that's filled with joy. It will be live streamed on Substack at 6 p.m. So yeah, so it's gonna be it's gonna have a lot of access. So we're gonna get a lot coming out of this event. I am excited about that. Yes, I love it. All right, y'all. Y'all remember in my last podcast, I told you that Charles was in Rome to meet with the Pope. Yes, he rode his horse into town over there to the Vatican. And today, him and his horse showed up at the Vatican to meet with the Pope. And this is supposed to be unprecedented because he is going to pray with the Pope. Well, he did pray with the Pope because it's already happened already. And because he is the head of the Church of England, who broke away from the Catholic Church way back centuries ago, I guess. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments, because I know it is some readers that are way more versed on all of this than I am. But I do know that the Church of England broke away from the Catholic Church because I think Henry VIII wanted to divorce his wife, and the Catholic Church, the Pope, would not approve it. So he created his own church and called it the Church of England. Now, if I'm wrong on that, y'all correct me in the comments, but that is the reason why a monarch hasn't prayed with a Catholic Pope since then. So this was supposed to be just unprecedented, and it's supposed to have been history making. AFP News posted about this event, and it said King Charles III, the head of the Church of England, became the first British monarch to pray publicly with a pope in a Vatican service led by Leo XIV. Yes, he showed up with his horse and prayed with the pope. He did. And I'm going to put this up. And Taylor posted about the horse's outfit. And let me tell you, it is not going well for her on these internet streets when it comes to this outfit. That hat, I'm telling you, like she got a bunch of crows on top of her head. And it is hilarious, some of the memes that the squatties have come up with. But Tatler said this: Queen Camilla relied on two trusted designers for her striking matilla and elegant coat dress for the Vatican state visit, and both holds a royal warrant. Now, a royal warrant is like a stamp of approval from a royal family member. But listen, I think it's the wrong kind of warrant here for this catastrophe. I'm telling you, she looks a hot mess. She looks like a hot mess rolled up in a dumpster fire. But I digress. I agree with them that they should have a royal warrant, but a warrant for their arrest. I mean, dressing this woman looking like this. It should be a wanted poster for them, wanted dead or alive, because this is horrendous. It really, really is. And I'm telling you, she is not having a good time on these internet streets. Squatties are just skull dragging her about this outfit. It is downright spooky. And I'm going to put this up. And this squatty said, why is Camilla dressed like Cruella de Vil to meet the Pope? I'm telling you, look at this. That hat. That hat is just hideous. It looks like a flock of birds landed on her head and died. It really looks just that bad. And the fashion house that made this dress, I am so underwhelmed. This is the same dress that Camilla has in every different color. I mean, it's nothing there. It's no there. She looks just like Cruella de Vil. She looks like a witch from Eastwick. She looks like she has her broom leaning in a corner across the room, so when she's finished, she can hop on it and fly back to England. She looks like a storybook witch. She does. She looks like she would cook and eat Hansel and Gretel. She does. She does. Whew, I don't know who dressed her, but it should be a crime. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. The Daily Mail seemed to have live streamed this whole thing of Charles and his horse praying with the Pope, Pope Leo the 14th. And so it was very interesting to this squatty to see that only 1,700 people were watching this historical moment. Yes, 1,700 people. And this squatty said, love this for Charles. So do I. So do I. Yes. Nobody's interested, even when they're doing historical things. People do not care about that family. The one that they really cared about and that cared about them, they drove him out. They ran him off. And now they're left to drown. They are. And I just love it for them. I do. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up. And look, surprise, surprise. Now, I am being facetious when I say surprise, surprise, because we know that this is not a surprise. At least to not the people who have been paying attention to how this family moves, how these scorpions sting. Look at this. It says Downing Street refuses to make time for MPs to debate Prince Andrew's conduct amidst growing calls by MPs. Now, who's surprised by that? I mean, we have been saying it since the beginning. This is just a pantomime. This is just a show that they have been putting on. And nothing was going to come of it. And that's exactly how it's looking. Y'all, I saw, I think his name is Professor Tim Wilson, and he was talking about how Andrew was probably going to have to go to Parliament and answer questions and stuff like that. And I said to myself, you know, this man has lived in this country all his life. He knows this family. He knows more history about this family than I could even dream of knowing. But yet and still, he's still falling for the okie doke. I knew, and every squatty that I saw come down my timeline said the same thing. This was nothing but an old head fake. But yet and still, he fell for it. And I wonder how he feels about this, because I saw his video about a day ago. He was saying that Andrew was going to have to go to Parliament. And looky here. We said it there from the jump. And nothing is going to come of this. It's so funny to me how these people who know this family so well don't know this family. I'm just saying. But yeah, and the squatty came up under this and said, perhaps it would open a can of worms on the rest of his family. Don't think for a minute the William Oxford, I don't know what that means, and Charles are not up to their necks in scandal. Exactly. Exactly. We said it from the beginning. The rot is too deep. It goes to the bone. And yet and still, like I said, I love Professor Tim Wilson. But it's just amazing to me that he knows so much, but he knows so little about this family and how they move. But I'm just saying, but that is dead in the water, like it always has been dead in the water. And just, it's dead in the water because what this squatty said is absolutely true. That it would open a can of worms on the rest of that family. The rot is all the way to the bone. It is. And they are going to protect themselves at all costs. I just don't understand how people don't see that. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. And the Telegraph had an article about Andrew, and it said, Prince Andrew met two alleged Chinese spies during a single trip to promote his Pitch Place initiative. And it says, the Telegraph can reveal. I mean, they revealing just about everything on Andrew. They unloading on him. And the squatty that posted this said, and yet Parliament is saying that they won't debate or talk about Prince Andrew. The effing state of things. Harry really did hit the nail on the head when he said during the phone hacking cases, our country is being judged by the state of our press and government, both of which is at rock bottom. Well, they ain't the only ones government is at rock bottom. We have a man over here tearing down the White House. You know, it would be laughable if it wasn't so sad. But Harry was right. And these are our leaders. These are the people who we have allowed to be at the tippy top of decision making in society. And we are just absolutely suffering for it. So I understand this squatty's frustration, but I hope she is not surprised. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to put this up, and this is a repost, and the squatty that posted this said, Downing Street appears to be blocking a debate on Prince Andrew's finances and future. Asked 5 times why the government won't allow time for a debate or a vote on his titles, the Prime Minister's spokesperson said that the royal family would not want to take time from other important issues. He said it's a matter for select committees if they want to start their own inquiries. Basically, what he's saying is it's dead in the water. And did you notice the talking points are absolutely alike? The one that came from Charles and the one that came from Keir Starmer? Yeah, it's identical. It's identical. They're talking off of the same talking points. This is very telling. And the squatty that posted this said, the royal family knows that once they open the Pandora's box, then all of them are fair game. Why does Prince William have 4 homes? How are Edward and Annie paying for their homes? Why does Kate have, I don't know what kind of cancer they saying Kate has. Yes. So Charles is smart enough not to want to open that Pandora's box. He knows what lies in it, and he fears what he doesn't know that lies in it. So he wants to keep it firmly closed. But like I said, you know, King Dumb as a Rock might not do the same thing because he's dumb as a rock. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and this is predictable as well. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. And what I'm talking about, you say, the shift, the shifting of the narrative. They are now shifting the narrative in order to make Andrew a sympathetic figure in all of this. Somehow they're going to go from Virginia Dufresne being the victim to Andrew being the victim. And how are they going to do that, you say? They're going to put out things saying that his mental health is suffering. Look at this from GB News. And this is a quote from Charlotte Griffith. It says, I don't have sympathy for him, but when the pile-on is this intense, it comes from every angle. Editor at large at the Mail on Sunday, Charlotte Griffith, discussed the allegations and declining mental health of Prince Andrew. There you have it. The changing of the narrative. He's becoming a victim. He is. They use the same old playbook. They sent Charlotte out to start the wheels to turn. You know, people are just concerned about his mental health. He is just suffering, not even thinking about how much this woman, a girl at the time, a child, suffered at the hands of him. But no, they want us to be concerned about his mental health. It's the same old playbook. They never switch it up. I knew it was coming. And this is absolutely the new narrative that they're going to go with. Now, this particular squatter that posted this said this: apparently, the British do care about mental health. All you have to do is face consequences for being besties with the most prolific sex trafficker of our time and be credibly accused of admitting your own sex crimes. Poor Andrew. Exactly. Exactly. They're trying to switch it up and try to make him into a victim. I mean, the same old mind elf. They do it every time. But there you are. The shift of the narrative has begun. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up, and this is from the news agents, and it's more of the same. They are starting to change the narrative. And you know what happens? They get their marching orders, the flying monkeys do, and they go out and manipulate the public. And it's starting to change. You can see it right in real time. This is what the news agent said. The king isn't rubbing his hands in glee. He wants Prince Andrew out of the way, but he isn't vindictive. Well, you could have fooled me, because isn't this the same man who left his son, his baby son, out on an island in Canada with his wife and his infant son, took away his security, and then dropped a dime on their location? So we're not supposed to think that this man is vindictive? Get out of here. But let's go on. It says he feels the sibling side intensely. Well, why doesn't he feel the fatherly side? He can feel the sibling side of it. And I'm not saying he doesn't feel that, but it really makes it hard for me to believe the way I know and have witnessed him treat his son, his blood. You know, it's hard to swallow. But this is the narrative they're out here pushing. So don't be mad at Charles. It's very hard on him to mistreat his family. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know, that would be easy to swallow, and it wouldn't get stuck in your throat if you hadn't saw what he has done to his son and his wife and his grandchildren. I mean, get out of here. And it says, calls grow for Andrew to explain his finances before MPs, yet more unwelcome scrutiny. They don't switch totally from Virginia to his finances. You see, and then slowly they're coming around to he is having mental health problems, and he somehow has gone from this horrible human being who did nothing but inflict pain on this woman so much that she unalived herself. He done went from that to a victim himself. Yes, yes, yes. This particular squatter that posted this said, Charles isn't a vindictive man. He stripped his youngest son of his protection he had since birth, with signaling to all the other governments to do the same. Charles knowingly put his youngest son and his family in harm's way. Not vindictive, you say? BS. Exactly. Exactly. Y'all remember that? He signaled to other countries that they didn't need to protect Harry and Meghan. He did that, but we're supposed to believe that he's not vindictive. And let's not forget what he said in court. He said Harry doesn't need security because if something happened to him, it would not upset the British public. He said that. So they can miss me with this nonsense, but is it predictable? Absolutely it is. And like I said, it is so shocking to me that people who have watched this family, who knows the history of this family, who are citizens of this country, and still don't see what others see. I see right through this nonsense. And I haven't only been watching it since Meghan been in it. And you have been watching it all your life and you can't see who these people are. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up, and this is another sign. They are starting to erase things, what they have said about that family, and what they absolutely took down was something very interesting. It is the story about the security. Y'all remember where it says a senior aide to the king was head of the royal protection when Prince Andrew allegedly asked one of the police officers to dig up dirt on Virginia Dufresne. Y'all remember that article? I covered it in my podcast. Well, it has been scrubbed from the internet. It is no longer on their website. Why? Because they want to try to pretend that the royal family has no connection to Ravak, they don't have any means to pull any levers when it comes to security. That kind of slipped out, and now they want to reel it back, but it's too late. It's too late. We will never, ever, ever let you reel it back. You would never, ever get that one back because you have been exposed. But yeah, they absolutely scrubbed it. And I'll tell you another thing they did. On most of these stories, I think all of them, I'm just going to say most just to be safe, they didn't even have the comments on. How many stories, vicious, vicious stories, vicious lies about Harry and Meghan, and they turned the comments off? I don't know, not one. But they turned the comments off of this, off of all this stuff with Andrew. They sure did. Still protecting him. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty said about this article being scrubbed from the internet, said, why did Sky News delete this tweet about Prince Andrew asking King Charles, now senior aides, to dig up dirt on Virginia Dufresne? Yeah, we know why. Because they didn't want the connection between senior aides and security. Did not want that connection out there. I'm just saying. And Narendra Nakur came under this comment and said, comments off for Andrew. Comments on for Meghan and Harry. Disgraceful. Bias going on in our media. Harry was right. Exactly. Exactly. It is shameful that they turned the comments off. I don't know what article that they didn't turn the comments off, but they turned the comments off. That says a lot, doesn't it? It says that they are still in the protection racket of protecting that family. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. We got this article in our paper, and it is behind a paywall, so I did not get to read it because I don't give them no money. I don't. I am not giving them any of my money. But yes, and it is by Rebecca Reed. And the name of the article is, This is What a Real Royal Scandal Looks Like. We owe Harry and Meghan an apology. All I can say is that's true. That's true. This is a real royal scandal. And Harry and Meghan have not done anything. They wouldn't have done nothing if they only treated them with some respect, some dignity, and some kindness. But they couldn't do that. They absolutely could not do that. So Harry and Meghan was speaking out about their abuse. And I believe Harry spoke out a lot for his protection. I really do. But the squatty, this is a repost, and the original post said, but if King Charles and the rest of the gang have even an ounce of sense, the events of last week and the juxtaposition between Andrew and Harry should clarify exactly how lucky the royals were to have Harry and Meghan, and how advantageous it would be to bring them back. Now, it would be an advantage for that family over there, but it definitely would not be an advantage for Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan would have to shrink themselves. They would absolutely have to become way smaller because their egos could not handle Harry and Meghan shine. It is just impossible for these people. I'm telling you, it came out that Andrew still has 80 teddy bears on his bed and they have to be arranged in a certain way. And Charles still has his childhood teddy bear that he has and sleeps with. Now, this is allegedly, and this is what the word on the curb is. Can you imagine dealing with folks like this? I mean, it is not right. It is not right. It's some weird shit. Harry and Meghan can't deal with that. Harry just absolutely lucked out to the point where he had some normalcy in his life, enough, from his mother to be able to survive that place. It is crazy to me. But no, it would not be an advantage for Harry and Meghan. They absolutely would not survive it. And the squatty that reposted this said, strange to me how the British media churns out millions of articles demonizing Harry and Meghan, but whenever the royal family are caught out in a scandal, they expect Harry and Meghan to come back to clean up the family's image. Where is the lie? I'm telling you, they calling for Harry and Meghan all the time, but when something go down, they really call for Harry and Meghan because they see exactly what's going on here. That family is sinking like the Titanic. Ever since they lowered Queen Elizabeth II down in those tombs, the arrows have been pointing downward for that family. And it's not getting any better. And they want Harry and Meghan to play Captain Save-A-Ho. And that's not going to work. Like I said, Harry and Meghan would have to shrink in order to come back to that family. And who would want to regress after making so much progress as Harry and Meghan has? Nah, absolutely not. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is about the York sisters. And I think this was in the Mirror. I think it was. But correct me if I'm wrong. And this particular squatty posted about it. It's a repost. And the original squatty posted about it. And the title of the article is King Charles Protected His Nieces, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, in handling Prince Andrew's demotion. Royal sources says the king was reportedly determined to make sure his niece's royal status wasn't impacted by the fallout. It's so funny to me. Charles can just protect everybody except his son and his grandbabies and his daughter-in-law. Now, he can't do nothing for them. His hands are always tied. He cannot move a lever within the government in which he sits tippity top of. But all of a sudden, he can do all these things for everybody else. It is strange, strange, strange. But the squatter that posted this said, funny since King Charles didn't protect his own son and grandchildren. Where is the lie? Where is it? And the squatty that reposted this said, the same bloke who wanted to deny his future grandchildren their birthright and cares nothing for his son's royal status. Woo! All I can say is amen. Don't make me shout up in here, because that's nothing but the truth. Let's not forget, this is the same man who is said to be protecting Beatrice and Eugenie's birthright, but did not want those same birthrights for his grandchildren. Did not want them to be called prince and princesses. Did not want them to be called his and her royal highness. This was something due to them. This was their birthright. Why would Archie and Lily's birthright be denied to them when William, his birthright is to be the heir to the throne? You honor that. George, Charlotte, and Louis, you honored their birthright. What was the problem? And it seems like you want to honor the York sisters, but you just have a problem for your own grandchildren. I wonder why. I wonder why. Could it be because when you are in a walkabout, you skip over black people? I want to shake their hand. To me, that's telling. I'm just saying. And this squatty said Beatrice and Eugenie deserves this just for choosing to be friends with Piss on Moron and Jeremy Clarkson. All I can say is I agree with that. I do. I absolutely do. You know, what goes around comes around. It really does. And speaking of what goes around comes around, if it was a person, it would be Sarah Ferguson. And here she is on the cover of Hello magazine. And I must say, I have zero sympathy for Fergie. I really do. Because she knew exactly what she was doing. She was all about the money. Now, I'm not saying the way things are set up over there when you are in the royal family that it's problematic. It's problematic that one person has it all and the other ones have to scramble. But the way she chose to scramble was not the way to go. And this particular squatty posted it and said, laugh out loud. Hello Canada rubs it in. And as you can see, it says she will always support her former husband's decision. Now she made sure she put up that former. But I don't understand why, if that is her way to try to distance herself from Andrew, give it up, Fergie. It's just not going to happen, because even if you manage to distance yourself from Andrew, you have done too many scurrilous things on your own. So that's not going to work. And it says, end of a fairy tale. Was it ever a fairy tale for Fergie? Because Fergie always seemed to have had a hard time within that family. You go back to her interview with Oprah, and it pretty much sounds the same as Meghan's. I know now, she wanted to try to get back in, but Fergie did an interview with Oprah as well. And she absolutely shined a light on the ill treatment that the women in the royal family receives. So yeah, Fergie has done a lot of stuff, and so she doesn't get to distance herself from Andrew. And it says, no longer a duchess, Sarah Ferguson faces an uncertain future amidst Prince Andrew's royal exile. Well, she still is a duchess, but she just doesn't have the ability to use it anymore. And like I said, she has been scurrilous, so it is well deserved. I have no sympathy for Fergie. I'm just saying. Because like I said, Fergie was after the money. And I'm going to put this up, and this particular squatter decided to post some picture evidence. And they said this. Anyway, here is some pictures of J.E. and G. Maxwell enjoying themselves at Windsor Castle. Sandringham Buckingham Palace, and even in the Queen's cabin. But sure, nothing to see here. Apparently, they also had security paid by the taxpayer every time. What y'all think about that? What do you think about that? This is what was going on. And now it's all coming out. They even got old Weinstein. He was there. And boy, was he a horrible, well, he's still alive, a horrible human being. He's probably going to die in prison. And all I can say is good riddance. But yes, very, very terrible. I'm just saying. And I'm gonna put this up. This is a little changing of the gears because it looks like the royal family is not the only family that is in choppy waters here of late. Look at this. Pippa Middleton's father-in-law charged with ape of a minor. France judicial source Pippa Middleton's father-in-law charged. Yes, they have finally charged him. What y'all think? It says that, well, the squatty that posted this said Kate's sister Pippa Middleton's father-in-law charged with ape of a minor, taken into custody in France for questioning. 2018 UK press basically buried the story after initially reporting to protect Prince William, Kate, and the Middletons. Yeah, they buried it back then, but that's what I always say. You can bury a lie deep, 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 but eventually it will surface. You can bury scandal deep, 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 but eventually it will make its way to the surface. And look like this has made its way to the surface, y'all. Yes. And we all know what we have observed is something going on between the mannequin and Pippa. There's definitely something going on there. Because when Pippa didn't show up for Wimbledon this year, I knew right then and there something is going on. I don't think it's a good relationship there. And now with this right here going on, we know how they run from scandal. And I don't know. But yeah, very, very interesting. And it says the father-in-law of Pippa Middleton, whose sister Kate is married to the British Prince William, has been charged in France for the ape of a minor, a legal source told AFP on Friday, as a family spokesperson called the allegations untrue and scandalous. Well, what you think they're going to say? But this has been going on for a while. And France has been like a dog with a bone. And evidently, it seems like they have gathered enough evidence to charge him. I mean, what is it with these pedos? It seems like this aristocratic class is absolutely just infested with them. Who would have knew? Because Pippa's husband, his family is, I think they're a multi-billionaire family. And we all know she wouldn't be there if it wasn't the dollar, well, the pounds there, because they are social climbers. And she done climbed up a tree with a pedo in it. Oh my God. I cannot. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. I found this while I was on the internet streets. Now, it's not a real game, but I tell you what, if it was a real game, everybody would be playing this game, especially over there across the pond in that family and that news media over there. And the name of the game is called Scapegoat. And it says, it's always someone else's fault. Woo, I'm telling you, tell me they would not be playing Scapegoat. I'm telling you, especially in the royal family, because that's all they do is scapegoat and say everything is someone else's fault. I love it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And y'all remember when Meghan went to this party that was hosted by Emma Grede, and I gave her the side eye. I was like, I just am not feeling her. It just doesn't seem genuine to me. I didn't like the whole interview. I didn't like her appearance right away on Loose Women after she was coming off of the interview with Meghan. She had never been on Loose Women before, and all of a sudden here she is talking about Meghan. I just side-eyed the whole thing. She just, kind of troubled my spirits. Well, look at this. It looks like Emma Grede joined the King's Trust as a new ambassador. I'm telling you, sometimes I am right on point when I am feeling something. That's why I always said that Meghan needed to be careful with her. Because y'all remember when I was saying that you have two types of people. You have your friends and then you have your associates. And I would put Emma in the category of associates. And because the only difference between a friend and an associate is that you do not tell your associate about your personal life, what's going on with you, any secrets, anything like that. You keep it very surface. And that is the reason why I just never ever felt that Emma was a friend. She always would go in the bucket of being an associate. And look what she has done. Now she is an ambassador for the King's Trust. I'm just saying, tell me what y'all think about that. I'm telling you, I think I got a lot of thoughts about it, but I'm going to try to keep them to myself, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to put this up, and this is another riddle, and it says this. When I was 2, my sister was twice my age. Now I'm 40. How old is my sister? Y'all see if y'all can come up with an answer for that. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later.